The Boyle County teen reported missing following the death of her stepmother was found in New Mexico over the weekend. We'll have the latest on the homicide investigation coming up.
4 years after her son's tragic death, a Kentucky mother traveled to Nebraska to hear her son's heartbeat again. The Pokemon craze has gone from phone screens to walls around Eastern Kentucky University's campus.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon on this Labor Day. Sam Dick reporting. State police have found a missing Boyle County teenager in New Mexico. Family reported 15-year-old Jenna Oakley missing after her stepmother, Rhonda Oakley, was found dead in their home. The Boyle County coroner is saying the death is a homicide. Hillary Thornton has more on the case. It's our top story at 4:30.
15-year-old Jenna Oakley had been considered missing since Thursday when her stepmother was found dead inside of a home here along Old Houstonville Road.
Jenna Oakley was found Saturday in New Mexico in the parking lot of a Motel 6, 1,200 miles from her home, a home where her stepmother, Rhonda Oakley, was found dead on Thursday afternoon. Police say the teen was found unharmed in New Mexico along with 20-year-old Kenneth Nye. When found, the two were sitting in a 2014 Honda Civic. That vehicle description and license plate number matching the car of her stepmother's. Rhonda Oakley's car was reported stolen after the discovery of her body. A short time later, Jenna Oakley considered missing. Rhonda Oakley's death is being investigated as a homicide. Investigators say Oakley's stepson came home from school and found her dead inside of the home. The coroner says after talking to some neighbors, he does not think the 52-year-old had been dead for very long before her body was found.
Now at this point, no arrests have been made for Rhonda Oakley's death. However, that 20-year-old man that Jenna Oakley was found with was arrested in New Mexico and charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. In Boyle County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
And Nye is in the Quay County, New Mexico Detention Center. We had some beautiful fall-like temperatures for our holiday weekend, but it is heating up. Let's check in now with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. Hey, Jim.
Hello, Sam, and happy Labor Day to you. We are, of course, not the beneficiaries of Labor Day because we're right here, but everybody else is going to be out in the heat while we're in the good AC here. Right now, we're at 90 degrees in Lexington. A lot of upper 80s are also in southern and eastern Kentucky. So 88 Danville, Somerset, London, all holding steady there. A couple more showers have popped, looks like along Interstate 65. I don't think that's going to be a widespread ordeal for anybody, just more of the isolated stuff out there. A little more juice trying to get going in those locations. It's going to be more about the heat the next few days than it is about any of the showers and thunderstorms, at least for a little while here. We'll start the morning off probably in mid and upper 60s, and then you see another big push for 90 degrees out there as we head into your Tuesday. The same thing is likely going to happen as we go beyond that. Look at this. We're still going to hold on to the heat early in the morning on Wednesday and into the afternoon and evening hours there as well, as we probably end up in the low 90s again. And at this point, we're going beyond just talking about the heat. We're trying to also introduce the possibility of a little more humidity into the area, which will allow for it to feel a whole lot worse than what you have outside. So low 90s next few days here. Late week changes though. Big cold front will drive into the area, and that's going to cool us down a little bit at first and then cool us down a whole lot by the time the weekend actually gets here. So another big swing is coming. I'll track it a little more in detail coming up in just a few minutes.
Jim, thank you. Many people probably see Alzheimer's disease as an older person's problem, but the fact is it's become everyone's problem, with the costs soaring into the hundreds of billions and taking millions of lives. One of the places leading the way in trying to find a cure for this devastating disease is right here in Lexington. We recently visited the neuropathology lab at UK's Sanders Brown Center on Aging. I had asked to interview the lab's director, Dr. Peter Nelson. What I didn't expect was to see and touch a human brain. It was donated from a 100-year-old woman. The lab and its search for a cause and cure for Alzheimer's depends on hundreds of volunteers who donate their brains. Lexington couple Ron and Carol Borkowski are part of the Alzheimer's study.
This is an enormous problem. When people have polls, they say that's one of the biggest things that they're afraid of. Why? Because it's $100 to $200 billion per year, and it kills millions of people. this is the thing that's going to bring us down. It's not ISIS, it's not Al-Qaeda. This is the thing that's going to really get to us if we can't find a cure.
Tonight at 6, the inspiring story of a couple married 54 years who refused to give in to Alzheimer's disease and are facing it together every day. 4 years ago, a grieving Kentucky mother faced a difficult decision following the tragic death of her teenage son, and it changed the life of a total stranger. She decided to donate her son's organs, and this weekend she traveled to Omaha, Nebraska, and met the man who received his heart. Emily Zink has the touching story.
4 years after her son's tragic death, a mother from Kentucky came to Nebraska to hear her son's heartbeat again. An emotional meeting at Nebraska Medicine Thursday evening.
How you feel?
Best I've felt all my life.
Don Grace finally met the man who has her son's heart.
But I can hear it.
Can you?
On Friday afternoon, Grace got an even better listen.
It's so peaceful.
Exactly 4 years ago today, Joe gained life. Kaylin gained everlasting life.
In 2012, 14-year-old Kaylin Grace of Kentucky accidentally shot himself with a gun he thought was broken. Kaylin did not survive.
We were asked to donate, and I was very angry.
Grace said she had no intention of donating her son's organs until he came to her in a vision.
He said, "Mama, what would I do? This is not about you."
Grace decided to donate, and hundreds of miles away, Joe Hansen of Council Bluffs was given a second chance at life.
When I open my wallet, he's the very first thing I see when I open my wallet. And him and I, we talk quite a bit.
55-year-old Hansen and Kaylin have become one thanks to organ donation.
Kaylin's happy.
Yep, he's happy, I'm happy. We're both very happy together.
Hansen and Grace have corresponded for years but never met. Both sides needed time to heal. They say finally meeting on the 4-year anniversary of the transplant was the perfect time.
I mean, I feel blessed. I feel thankful.
All right, well, one more time or?
Sure.
Emily Zink,
Real strong.
CBS News, Omaha, Nebraska.
Very, very special. And back in July, we showed you a story about an EKU student who was drawing Pokemon characters around campus. Over the weekend, Wiley Cottle started showcasing his Pokemon art on campus again, but this time he has his work cut out for him. Michelle Chamberlain went to Richmond to check out his newest masterpiece.
It's a true labor of love.
I do enjoy this a lot.
I mean, the attention to detail is fantastic.
Wiley Cottle couldn't stop working on this Labor Day. He's on day 3 of his art project on EKU's campus. The goal? To draw all 151 Pokemon characters.
This day 1 was like vacation, but now I'm really sore and tired, so it's definitely labor today.
Wiley says in front of the Keene Johnson building is the perfect canvas for his artwork. He says it's also a pretty popular spot to catch Pokemon.
I knew people would come by and take photos and knew exactly what's going on. EKU has been so great about this. They've brought me this drone to get some really cool shots, and they approved the space.
I noticed as I was going back to my dorm, which I thought I'd stop by and see what's going on. I mean, they look just like the pictures on the games and the cards and everything. It's really impressive.
But this labor of love is about more than impressions. It's about getting that social media shout out from the official Pokemon account.
Hasn't happened yet, but we're hoping it'll happen when I finish this project.
So while you're off of work today and or catching pocket monsters, help spread the word on social media about Wiley's chalk illustrations. A shout out from Pokemon would astonish this Cynthiana native and would give him a reason to celebrate this Labor Day while he works. In Richmond, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Also, special thanks to Sean White for providing us with that impressive drone video. Wiley hopes to be finished with his project tonight at 8 o'clock. Fans of the late Gene Wilder can catch one of the actor's most popular movies this week. Movie Tavern over in Brandon Crossing in Jessamine County will show the 1971 version of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory on Wednesday and Thursday. The theater will show the movie at 7:30 p.m. both days. Tickets are $5. Gene Wilder died last week due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. And a reminder, with the Labor Day holiday, the city of Lexington is changing its trash pickup schedule this week. There will be no collection today. People who normally have their trash pickup today will be serviced on Wednesday. Curbside collection changes this week will impact only those who normally have service on Mondays. Businesses with dumpsters that have pickup on Mondays will have their units picked up tomorrow, and those with Tuesday service will have pickup on Wednesday. One of TV's best-known heroes returning to the small screen. That's ahead here on WKYT News at 4:30.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
All right, here we are on Labor Day, and the heat has finally battled back after taking a little bit of a break over the weekend. We were still rather warm, but it was a comfortable kind of warm for an extended weekend for many folks out there. Let's see what we have outside right now in Lexington, and that would be just some clouds. No major issue here. It's still 90 degrees, but you got to keep in mind this number right here, which is an important number, is still very low. It comes in at 38%, so that makes it feel a whole lot better compared to what it could be if it was 60, 50, 70, somewhere through there. We would really be starting to feel it. Upper 80s showing up in most locations, and you find a few of the mid 80s peppered through the mountains of southeastern Kentucky as well here, from Jackson to Harlan down toward Middlesboro, while everybody else to the north, in this little corridor of pure heat where it's 90 or higher in some spots, like Louisville. Here's the positive thing as well. Even though the next few days are going to include a little more humidity, it's not going to be back up to where it was last week, which we found ourselves with high dew point temperatures. And what I mean by that is if we get into the low 70s there, and I don't see an indication that we're going to. We'll probably stay in the 60s, but still certainly noticeable. By the end of the week, going to Friday, it spikes up a little bit higher into that oppressive level, and the reason is we have a front driving in, bringing showers and thunderstorms through, so naturally a little more moisture will be present in the air. Here's what our Defender Radar Network looks like at the moment. It's quiet, just some clouds out there. That would be from the satellite, and a few showers and thunderstorms to our north and some right around Louisville. Trying their best to go up, just not running into a lot of upward motion here. And, oh, by the way, don't forget that Hermine is still out there. It's gone subtropical now, but that is still a thing. It is still spinning along the east coast there, just throwing the clouds in toward New England and eventually some rain. And it's just going to meander there for a little while. So it is still something to be talked about across the parts of the Atlantic. Hour by hour run. Let's go through the rest of the evening as when I think a lot of us will be out trying to get out of the direct rays of the sun, perhaps trying to do a little cookout or what have you. We're still in the upper 80s here. We'll advance past that. Let's go through the overnight and into your Tuesday, and you'll see temperatures in the 60s at that point. We're talking 80s again, close to 90 degrees for afternoon highs in many spots for us on your Tuesday, as most people are back at work, back at school. Then we go rolling into Wednesday, same old song and dance. So we're going to keep the heat around, highs peak in the low 90s with a mix of sun and clouds out there. So we're going to go through some dry days here, and some decent days are also trying to evolve and come back into play. So Friday, Saturday, maybe even late Thursday. You notice there I put clouds increase there, and that's just a day I think out ahead of the front where we'll see some of that come together. But we'll flip a switch, Sam, just like we did this past weekend when we had that front go through for Friday. It ended up being spectacular most of the weekend. Same thing happens this weekend, but a little cooler. So
well, and with fall officially still a little ways to go.
We still got about 2 weeks, yeah,
okay,
before we actually get there.
Well, gorgeous weekend. I don't know if you could take credit for it, but I'm giving it to you.
Well, of course. I worked all week last week.
And you're here right now.
I'm here today. It's all mine.
Thanks, Jim.
Looking for a fun little getaway for fall break? I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at Eagles Ridge Resort in Pigeon Forge today.
Well, before we know it, fall break will be here. Our Deanne Stevens is out and about with a place you can take the whole family. She's taking the show on the road to Pigeon Forge. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here in Pigeon Forge. I like taking this show on the road kind of thing. It's a ton of fun to see and a ton of fun for you. If you're planning maybe like fall break, will be here before we know it.
Good timing.
Vicki is with us from Eagles Ridge, and we just a little bit ago, we had the opportunity to see the different community out there of cabins. But inside, holy cow, look at this place.
It opens up. It's so gorgeous. And the nice thing, these cabins are individually owned. So you'll actually see some personality.
Well, yeah,
of the owners.
Let's talk about this owner, because this owner likes to play cards.
Exactly.
Likes a little arcade game and a movie theater. This place is
Even
unreal.
with the seats, is that not awesome? You can have some popcorn, watch a movie, enjoy the show.
Yeah, so every cabin is different. This one sleeps about how many?
This one actually sleeps 12.
Okay, and you have them ranging from?
We have them from 1 bedroom to 9 bedrooms, so we can accommodate the smaller families, 2 folks, all the way up to 22.
Well, there's so much to do in Pigeon Forge. When you have a cabin like this, you almost don't want to leave.
You want to stay, exactly, and just enjoy it. The great thing is you can cook meals and save some money if you'd like to spend more money on shopping.
Let's head upstairs and see what it looks like up there. So once you get upstairs, tell us about what all is up here.
On the main level, you'll find your kitchen, dining room, living area. There are 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. And upstairs, you'll find your master bedroom.
I know, I said upstairs. There's 3 floors to this place.
Yes, this is a
Holy cow.
cabin.
And not
Plenty
only
of room
that,
to stretch out.
yeah, plenty of room. And listen, plenty of room to spread the family out. You know what I mean? If you got kids and you want them on one floor, they can enjoy that.
Exactly.
Family reunions, gatherings.
It's perfect. It's perfect for that. Of course, you know, the cabins are situated close together, so they can get a line of the cabins and just kind of go in between the cabins. We do have the clubhouse if they want to have some big family meals or gatherings there.
And I love, too, the cabins. They're equipped with games already. This one is equipped with games for the family. So bring the whole family out. Check out Eagles Ridge in Pigeon Forge. In the coming days, we're going to be having a little fun in Pigeon Forge too. So there's lots to see in us doing that. EaglesRidge.com is the website for you to see if you're interested in a cabin. Fall break right around the corner. Come have some fun. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about in Pigeon Forge today. Back to you guys.
Dan, thank you. Easy drive from Lexington and most of Kentucky. Disney's latest release flops in theaters and a sneak peek at the CBS fall lineup. Danielle Nottingham has your eye on entertainment.
When I first saw you, I felt like I knew you.
Disney's The Light Between Oceans was no match for Don't Breathe at the box office.
Who's there?
Okay, man, just chill, all right?
The horror thriller dominated for the 2nd week in a row, taking in $15.7 million in sales. The Light Between Oceans made a modest $5 million.
I'm Dr. Jason Bull. It's time we had a talk.
Michael Weatherly stars as Dr. Jason Bull in the new CBS series Bull. Weatherly heads up a very successful trial consulting firm.
He is an expert in human behavior, and so he's very good at putting together the right jury. He's good at prepping a witness.
We lost this at my office. Thank you. Almost looks like a real Rolex.
Bull is inspired by the early career of Dr. Phil McGraw. It premieres Tuesday, September 20th.
We need to make some copies. We need a fingerprint.
And get ready for the adventures of MacGyver as part of the new fall lineup on CBS. Lucas Till plays a 20-something MacGyver in the reboot of the 1980s series.
Something everyone remembers about MacGyver is that he didn't use guns. I think if we didn't uphold that, then what are we doing?
Nope.
MacGyver premieres Friday, September 23rd. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The world's newest opera house has opened in Dubai after 3 years of construction, and it's pretty impressive. The structure cost $330 million to complete. It will host everything from concerts and theater to sporting events. One of the Dubai Opera's most prominent technical design feats is a central chandelier composed of 2,900 LED lights that weigh more than 11,000 pounds. The venue is intended to bring both cultural and economic prosperity to Dubai. This elk had a tough time with a tire swing that got stuck in his antlers. More on who helped him out coming up. Perfect morning for a triathlon training day, but Jim Caldwell was missing. I don't understand. Jim, I didn't see you in the pool, didn't see you on your bike, and I didn't see you on the run.
I was in bed.
You're smart, man.
For a long time today, yes. Recovering from a fantastic weather weekend. I played golf all weekend, though, Sam, so there you go. I was out doing something. Had to walk the course one day as well, so there you go. 90 degrees in Lexington right now, 88 Danville, London, Mount Sterling, Moorhead. The heat is back, my friends. It did take a vacation like many of us did, but it has returned, and it is going to get a little bit worse as we head through the next few days here, hovering around 90 each day and a little more humidity as well. It is still Labor Day, and I'll tell you what, still plenty of time to get out and enjoy the evening, even though it's a warmer one. Temperatures hovering here probably in the upper 80s the next 2 hours when many of you might try to wrap up the final preparations on the grill. Maybe you're waiting for a late one, so that's what you'll have out there a little bit later on today. So not much action left. Now, action on the roads, yeah, we can find some of that. Let me show you what we've got from live drive traffic, actually tracking a couple of accidents. You've got one on I-75 southbound. It's an accident before exit 120 for Ironworks Park there. And then again, I-75 northbound, an accident right before exit 118 actually on 64, that section right there. So the big old mess out there looks like trying to show up on the interstate, Sam. But the thing is, a lot of folks are now in full swing of traveling back to their destination, back home from wherever they may have been.
Jim, thank you. An elk caught in a tight spot and street surfing. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this. An Arizona vet is being called the elk whisperer after helping one out of a tough situation. Deborah Butler saw this elk outside her home over the weekend. Yep, that is a large tire swing wrapped around his antlers. He even got part of the branch the rope was tied to along with it. Now, thankfully, the creature walked to the right yard in his predicament. It took Deborah 12 hours, but she was able to cut the elk free. She says she had to talk him through the process, earning her new nickname. A Florida man did not let a little hurricane-driven flooding stop him from having some fun over the weekend. Take a look as he uses the partially flooded roads for his own surfing lane. Being towed by a pickup truck and a ski rope, the man casually shreds waves in his neighbor's yards. He seems to be doing a pretty good job there until he gets a bit too comfortable. Yep, there he goes. The man uploaded the video to Twitter saying not even a hurricane could keep him from catching some waves. We don't necessarily recommend doing that, but he had a good time. Now, here's what we're working on. Stay with us now for WKYT at 5 o'clock.